Currently, we have been so much exposed to news from Kashmir that makes us sad, worried, and angry. To find a relief and get answers to some of troubling questions, I approached an insider who knows Kashmir like no one I know, and he did not disappoint me. The insider is from Pune. You may be wondering how a Kashmiri insider can be from Pune. Let me tell you. About 10-15 years back, Dr. Bhagwat, an established radiologist from Pune, decided to leave his comfortable life to do social work, and for the last few years he has focused on Kashmir. So much so that he calls Kashmir his second home. The close interactions he had with Kashmiris, especially considering his background, are unbelievable. He is the founder and president of Global Strategic Policy Foundation, Pune. While working in Kashmir through this organization, he got support from other well known personalities like Lieutenant General Saeed Atta Hussain, General V.K. Singh, Governor Arif Muhammad Khan, Lieutenant General Manoj Sinha, and Sarasangachalak Mohanji Bhagwat. If you are wondering about the commonality of this surname Bhagwat, I am going to let you guess about it, as that and many other surprises will be revealed in this conversation. So, here is an excerpt of our chat. Hi, so let's start our conversation, Dr. Bhagwat. I have already introduced about you and your organization, Global Strategic Policy Foundation Pune. Now, we would like to know more about this organization, especially how you got involved in Kashmir.
Global Strategic Policy Foundation Pune is the organization I've been a founder president of, and we have been in the field for say around 15 years. We are nationwide. We are basically into defense and foreign policy. And later we joined into national integration and communal harmony. Regarding this, we conducted a program in Delhi on Captain Hanifuddin, a Kargil martyr, lesser known Kargil martyr of Indian Army. Since it was conducted in India Islamic Cultural Center, most of the audience was young Muslims from Delhi and around. A few of them happened to be Kashmiris staying in Delhi. Those Kashmiris who attended it met me after the program and said, this kind of program and this kind of organization of yours needs to be in Kashmir.
Okay.
That's how we landed in Kashmir.
Okay.
And that was immediately after abrogation of Article 370.
Okay. I know that you have mentioned quite a few times that you consider Kashmir as your second home. So can you share a few experiences about Kashmir?
The very first program that we conducted in Kashmir, तो वहां पे जाके हमने एक to felicitate the next kin of Kashmiri martyrs ये किया.
Kashmiri martyrs मतलब a person who has lost life in the war or
the Kashmiri security forces, be it Indian Army or Jammu Kashmir Police. All those martyrs, their next kins were invited. We invited 100 of them.
Okay.
During this program, it was the first time कि tricolor 100-meter was put on throughout Srinagar.
I know that your surname Bhagwat, you share it with Sarasangachalak Mohan Bhagwat.
That's right.
So my specific question is, how did your relation, you being cousin of Sarasangachalak, made you feel while you were dealing with Kashmiri people? Did you feel more unsafe or it didn't matter?
Right. In the beginning, very few of them knew. Other than my own volunteers, nobody in Kashmir knew that I am related to Dr. Mohanji Bhagwat. I was introduced there because of that first program of mine to felicitate the next kin of Kashmiri martyrs. After a few days, GSPFP conducted a program in Mumbai. That time they really knew कि अगर इसने प्रोग्राम कंडक्ट किया है और उसमें पूजनीय सरसंघचालक जी आए हैं, ये भी भागवत है वो, तो दैट वाज द फर्स्ट टाइम दैट दे न्यू ऑफ दैट रिलेशन. तो उसके बाद में जब मैं कश्मीर गया तो उल्टा पहले से बहुत ज्यादा अच्छा रिस्पांस मिला. दैट इन इटसेल्फ टोल्ड मी that Kashmir is by and large
Yeah.
At least the new generation is very keen on having a smooth integration with rest of India, or maybe a sort of compromise or integration with Hindus of rest of India. And then they started looking me like a messenger. He is the one who got us to Mohanji Bhagwat in Mumbai. We met him. He wasn't the one which we were taught. He wasn't the one we thought he would treat us. He was a very nice person, open. They all had gathered around him. They had lunch together and things. There was a very excellent. In fact, Mohanji Bhagwat had a very good, probably first of its kind interaction with Muslims.
Wow.
And it was their first experience with Mohanji Bhagwat, one to one, and they all of them enjoyed it like anything.
Okay.
And since then, my popularity in Kashmir, GSPFP stature grew like anything in Kashmir.
Some people may not still believe that this is the case because the stereotypical picture or stereotypical image of RSS and stereotypical picture of Muslim is totally different. So this is a new revelation.
I think GSPFP selected the audience very carefully. There were Devbandi scholars, there were writers, media people, then there were the industrialists, then there were professionals, doctors, chartered accountants, people, real representative slice of Muslim Samaj. Probably it was something which even Dr. Pujne Satasangachalak ji also appreciated.
So, Dr. Bhagwat, here is a photo. You told me that this is called as Dastar Bandi. Can you tell us more about it?
Dastar Bandi is a ritual that takes place in Sufi shrines. Dastar Bandi means they accept you as a friend, as a savior in times of need. Somebody who would be a friend and who would help you out. That kind of a person is felicitated by Dastar Bandi. And believe me, that my Dastar Bandi happened around 12 years after the last Dastar Bandi took place of then LG, Lieutenant Governor of Jammu Kashmir, Ellen Bhora.
Oh.
I do understand it was all after the magic, after they found me to be a messenger, sort of could, form a bridge where people like representative of rest of India or maybe Hindus in the form of Pujne Sarasangachalak, Dr. Mohanji Bhagwat and them. That's why मेरी दस्तारबंदी हो गई शायद और फिर उनको उस दिन से उसके पहले से जब उनको पता चला कि अरे ये फलाना आदमी है को हमारी डायरेक्ट वन टू वन बात करा सकता है पूजने सरसंघचालक जी के साथ विच दे वांटेड नेचुरली दे desperately wanted a smooth integration with Hindus.
Okay.
वहाँ पे there were three guests we had. General Syed Atta Hasne, then Arif Muhammad Khan, erstwhile Governor of Kerala, and Dr. Mohanji Bhagwat were the three speakers. And all the rest of the audience was Muslim. And probably we, three, four of us were, including Mohanji Bhagwat, we were the Hindus. But the thing went so smooth,
And
which
no one was worried about security or concern for their safety around all these things. Whenever you move around in Kashmir, you didn't feel any sense of you don't feel any concern about your own safety.
There were, I mean, I never had any security concerns or worries because I had experienced a similar gathering of all Muslims, 98% Muslim population in SKICC, that's Dal Lake के किनारे जो है ना,
Yeah.
SKICC, शेर कश्मीर इंटरनेशनल कन्वेंशन सेंटर. तो वहां पे भी ऐसे पहले पहले कंसर्न्स लोगों के आए थे, यार यार ये राष्ट्रगीत गान का अपमान करेंगे, खड़े नहीं रहेंगे, ये काले झंडे दिखाएंगे, स्लोगन्स रेज करेंगे एंटी इंडिया. मैं बोला नहीं सर, हमने हर एक बंदा चुन चुन के परख के देख के इसमें इनवाइट किया है. अच्छा ये मार्टिर्स हैं, इनके शोहर इनके बेटे लड़े हैं भारत के लिए.
Now, can you share some exclusive experiences of you interacting with Kashmiri people?
First of all, I went to Shohda ground. Shohda ground is a place where that time who were the terrorists, but that time they were the heroes of Kashmiris, pre-abrogation period I'm telling about. When I went to Shohda ground, people in the area, it's around downtown Srinagar. So they all gathered and told me, you can't enter this place. I said, why? They said, because you are not a Kashmiri. I said, fine, but Kashmir is mine and rest of India is Kashmir's. So how does it make a difference whether I am a Kashmiri or a non-Kashmiri? Then they said, you are a Hindu. I said, again, so what? I am going anyway. I found those people, the security forces with me, told me, आप बहुत बड़ा पंगा कर रहे हो यार, बैठ जाओ गाड़ी में, क्यों ये कर रहे हो, दंगे फसाद शुरू हो जाएंगे, आपको कुछ हुआ तो हमारे लिए दिक्कत की बात होगी. मैं बोला कुछ नहीं होता. I reasoned with them. They were reasonable people. Then in the end, you must have seen that photograph of mine inside Shoda ground. Another thing, I used to often visit the hinterland
Sorry,
across
what is
Elos.
what is because people may not know what do you mean by hinterland. Can you explain what?
Hinterland is, a land between, say, POCK and Kashmir.
Okay.
So, say, LOC, say, around a kilometer away.
Okay.
Then I have stayed in the homes of those people staying right across the LOC
Oh.
for days together. People said it's a security risk and all. Nothing happened because I knew one thing. Why would they shoot a messenger? They never do that. And they looked at me as a man who wants to build bridges between rest of India and them. So
But
I was
also there may be some people who don't want that to happen as well. So isn't there
those,
still a risk?
those people, they never imagined that such a guy with a surname of Bhagwat would go there and stay there.
Own.
But that apart, it was all safe. One Labour Party politician, he used to be mayor of London, Lambeth. He is originally an Indian, one Dr. Patil, if
Okay.
you have heard of him. He has installed Basavaraj statue
Oh yes, 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 yes.
right in front of British
Yeah, yeah,
Parliament.
yeah.
So he is the one. He wanted to see, so he said, "Ki many friends from my Labour Party tell me that there is a Chris tomb in Rosabal. It's in
Right.
Srinagar somewhere. They tell me that nobody is allowed to go there." I requested the guys there, यार open up यार, let him see. क्रिस की टोम है तो देखने दो ना इनको, ये देखना चाहते हैं, ये मेयर रह चुके हैं लंदन के. They let him.
Okay.
कुछ मेरे को तो रिस्की कुछ लगा ही नहीं.
Now, can you tell us what kind of activities you have been doing in Kashmir for Kashmiri people?
See, we basically started, identifying their problems. तिरंगाज उनसे ही हम हमेशा हालांकि बना के लेते थे, हाथ पे बनाए हुए तिरंगे. हालांकि लुधियाना में बहुत सस्ते पड़ते हैं. बट देन वी लुक फॉर स्मॉल जॉब्स फॉर देम. देन जो घर पे बैठ के वो कुछ कमाई कर सकती है, ऐसी सब चीजें हमने वहाँ पे शुरू की, एक्टिविटीज. फिर फुटबॉल की टीम हमने गठित की वहाँ पे. Then we conducted various social programs inside even madrasa schools.
Right.
Tell you once, there is one school named as Ghazali, that time erstwhile epicenter of terrorism. And then we had a very good interaction with all the students. There were around 500. And then it was the first time that the national anthem was played on loudspeaker. It was for the first time. And then later, Sufis, which make around 70 to 75% population of Kashmir Valley. And then we organized Kashmiri Sufi conference. The response was tremendous. One very important, intelligent, and experienced man who happened to be the chief guest of this program, and that again happened to be erstwhile Rajyapal, Bihar, Dr. Arif Mohammad Khan.
Right.
अरे क्या भाषण दिया उन्होंने, सबके दिल जीत लिए. इतना लोग ये हो गए, इमोशनल हो गए.
Okay. Wow. Now, while we're talking, what I'm thinking is that those people who are watching this time may find it hard to believe. It's unbelievable to some extent that a person named Bhagwat making Kashmir as a second home, and those people over there, they do the starbandi, showing the trust and the relationship they want to build. But whatever we see on social media, conventional media, print media, this is, I mean, I haven't seen this before. So why these kind of images are not spread across the India?
See, there are two reasons. One is probably a successful propaganda of our enemy, Pakistan, who wanted to show it to the world community that things are not good in Kashmir, and that narrative of theirs uh, probably overtook. And very few of us probably went there during those bad times. So that was the propaganda which worked because people had not visited.
And that is,
Uh,
I think that the recent incidents may be the extension of that, because they kind of, could it be seen as a desperation from those people to convince the world that, see, this is what the terrorism is happening, and to give the message across India that things are not right. So is that what the connecting the dot could be?
so they wanted to internationalize the Kashmir problem, which was actually not there.
So, how confident are you that things will be back on track, and the Kashmiri life would be back to normal in the near future?
See, this is one of incidents that has taken place. Now, if you see, there are no local terrorists involved. No, most of them, 95% of them come across the border. There are a few sleeper cells. Yes, I do agree. That happens with any community for that matter. So you are bound to have those kind of supporters. I do agree that without the local help, this attack couldn't have taken place.
So, you mentioned few activities that you have done in Kashmir, but I want to know which of your activities most appreciated by Kashmiri people.
One of them was a meeting where we had 250 youngsters and we initiated for them a demand for at least one or two sessions of G20 inside Kashmir.
Right.
I told those boys and girls that if even such a single session takes place, people from 20 countries would be visiting Kashmir. That they appreciated. Other thing which was very much appreciated by Kashmiris was our anti-narco terrorism rally in Shopia. Shopia is the most infested with drugs and trafficking and whatnot. Drugs are in a big way in Kashmir. Now it is controlled very well. There are two great guys there that time. One was 31 Srinagar sub-area GOC General Sanjay Vishwas Rao, who's credited with Tiranga Revolution. And there was one SSP Srinagar, Wal. We
Sorry,
arranged
you just mentioned Tiranga Revolution. Can you explain more about it?
right. Previously, maybe before abrogation, there used to be flags of Pakistan. सब लोग आते थे अपने अपने झंडे फहराते थे अपने कश्मीर में. This man who used to be previously he used to be a military attaché to the Indian High Commission in Islamabad. He is basically from Pune. General Sanjay Vishwas Rao is the name. So it was his idea, Tiranga Revolution. And the other man I told you, SSP Srinagar, was one Balwal. SSP Balwal tracked on those narco terrorists and did tremendous work on narco terrorism. We were a part of it. The other thing that was appreciated by Kashmiris, for example, we felicitated the tunnel warriors of Silkiara tunnel calamity. General VK Singh looked after it because he was that time MOS Surface Road Transport, and then General Syed Ata Hasnain, who was almost our mentor. We got around 20 Kashmiri volunteers of ours and felicitated those tunnel warriors at the hands of them. Amongst them were ladies like Anna Mirza. She is a high-end professor at Delhi University में है. Then there was Samrin Khan. She is the youngest Mahila Sarpanch from Rajouri. बिल्कुल डरती नहीं है. टिपिकल इंडियन आउटफिट पहन के साड़ी में घूमती है राजौरी जैसे. द मोस्ट टेररिज्म अफेक्टेड एरिया इन द लास्ट फ्यू मंथ्स. राजौरी पूंछ उधर उसकी महिला सरपंच है. Every program of GSPFP we invite her. And acha, our last program maybe 4 months back in Pune, in Sahajivan Mala, where Dr. Mohanji Bhagwat spoke about Vishwaguru Bharat. That was the subject. It was Mala, but 10,000 people attended it.
Wow.
And that time again, people expected me कि मोहन जी भागवत जी का फेलिसिटेशन किसी बुजुर्ग के हंसते, किसी टॉप ऑफ द लाइन कोई साइंटिस्ट है, कोई चांसलर है, ऐसे बड़े बड़े, क्योंकि पुणे इज द सिटी ऑक्सफोर्ड ऑफ ईस्ट, तो यहाँ नामी गिरामी कई लोग हैं, तो उनके हंसते होना चाहिए. आई सेड नो, इट विल बी एट द हैंड्स ऑफ दीज टू कश्मीरी बच्चे. और ये 20 साल की ये है अपना सामरीन खान. And then there is another Kashmiri youth named as Sajid Yusuf. While he was 12-year-old in Kashmir, his mother was gunned down by terrorists in front of his eyes for having played Rashtrageet in the school where she was a teacher.
Ah, wow.
Just see, since that day, he is a die-hard nationalist, does lots of activities in Kashmir. He almost, like I told you, he almost represents the psyche of Kashmiri youth these days. He has done a lot of daring feats. He is the one who put up Tiranga on, brought a crane in Lal Chowk, put up a Tiranga on the top of Ghantaghar.
Wow.
Without any police protection, nothing.
Wow.
Then there is one Inshah Bashir. She is Paralympic medal winner, wheelchair basketball medal winner. There are great, the new generation is great. I really tell you. They were, all of them were, most 99% of them were born after 90s. They have nothing to do with what the carnage that happened in 90s. Now you can't blame them for what happened when they weren't born. And they have, extended their hand to you, rest of India. They are nationalists. आप बस उनको एक और करके GSPAP always tried to be a bridge between these Kashmiri youth who are nationalists and people who represent sort of non-political people who represent the rest of India or maybe Hindus. And that's why we picked up Dr. Mohanji Bhagwat and felicitated him at the hands of these guys.
Great. Great.
So that was the bridge which we created. And साहब कब आ रहे हैं, रोज के 50 फोन अटेंड करता हूँ मैं कश्मीर से आज भी. And this was, I told you, this was one of those incidences, Pahelgam, and that was deliberately done strictly by Pakistani army. I mean, Asim Munir did it to save his neck, to save his skin. He is highly unpopular thanks to Imran Khan amongst Pakistani population. He got it done because he thought that if I do it right in front of JD Vance, then maybe I'll be able to internationalize this Kashmir issue again, which he absolutely failed. It bounced back, actually. They're on the verge of breaking down into balkanization हो रहा है पाकिस्तान का. बहुत खस्ता हाल है, खाने के वांदे है. और उसमें उन्होंने ये परसों का इंसिडेंस इसलिए किया कि a small chance that if there is a kinetic action from India, maybe his unpopularity with Pakistani Awam would vanish, because then he is the one who will look after and fight. But that again is going to boomerang in a bad way. And this time, the kinetic action, the speciality would be that it won't be just against the puppets or the Jaish elite operatives. It won't be just the launch pads and all. This time it is going to be against the puppeteers. That's going to hit Pakistan very hard.
So, to end our conversation, I would like to ask you that after this incident, people are giving their opinion. Of course, the incident is so horrific that everybody is charged emotionally. But two extreme kind of comments or reaction I have seen, that some people are doubting intentions and desire of Kashmiri people to integrate with India. How far they appreciate what India and Indians have done. That is on one extreme. The other extreme, they're still carrying on whatever the Pakistan's narrative is and blaming our government and doubting our government's intention about solving this matter. Having worked with Kashmiri people, you moved away from your established comfortable living in Pune, went all over, took risk of your own life, and worked with Kashmiri people, not just one day, not just a week, not just a 1 year, but more than 5 years. And as you have said, and I will repeat it again and again, that you consider Kashmir as your second home. What will you say to those people on two extremes on blaming someone else?
See, let me answer this question of yours. It's a big one. Around 3 years back, we flew around 35 youngsters of Kashmir for that program to Mumbai. After the program was over, we gave them a tour of Mumbai and showed them the development that has taken place in Mumbai. Believe me, a few of them literally cried because younger generation was one, they weren't involved in the carnage of Kashmiri Pandits in 90s or maybe before that. And two, they want to correct it. At least the younger generation. I have stayed with them in their homes just because their maybe fathers, forefathers were involved in the carnage. They, they are desperate to have very smooth integration with Hindus and rest of India. Dil se, you maybe may have seen what happened, the way they agitate against this carnage of Pahelgam. Dil se kiya hai. There are many of them. When the Pakistanis, ISI and Pak army is bent upon getting this done desperately, last ditch effort of theirs, which will of course be, which will fail definitely. Government of India should take harshest action against all those involved. Basically, teach a lesson to those who are the real cause behind all this, including the Chief of Army Staff of Pakistan and ISI. But you can't punish in your generation who even haven't seen what happened with Kashmiri Pandit, just heard and are sorry about it. So let's give the youngsters a chance and things will go better.
I hope you have been able to see some different perspective about Kashmir saga. Please click the like button if you liked it, share and comment, subscribe and click the bell icon if you would like to watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.